Stefanos, congrats.
Thank you.
When Daniel played better in the third set and then did a break of serve in the fourth, did you think about what happened to Jannik Sinner last year when he got out of the tournament against the same opponent?
Oh, really? Yes, I forgot about it. Oh, really?
Yes.
I was not aware of it. It's good. It's good I was not aware of it. Now that you reminded me. No, I did not think of anything. But I knew that. Well, I think there was a tweet that I did a few days ago regarding a fifth set. It's definitely something you don't want to happen. It's a complicated situation to see yourself 2 sets to love up. You're playing great tennis. You're executing a game plan perfectly. Your opponent seems like he's out of control. Suddenly, he gets back from a toilet break. He starts playing really good, pumped. Not something that happens quite that often when you see an opponent being more pumped in the third set, being 2 sets to love down, rather than the first 2 sets that what we got to play was a completely different scenario. And the plot shifted. We started playing man-to-man with the same intensity and at the same frequency in a way it felt like. And the tiebreaker was really not that pleasant for me, but I've been through situations like this before, and they're complicated to deal with. And one thing that you don't want to happen is to lose control of your emotions. This is something that can really be a big threat when you start losing control of your emotions and feelings and start to overanalyze the situation. How did that happen? Everything seemed under control, now it's not. But in my case, I knew that I'm getting there. A break of serve on clay, it's of course an advantage, but it's not the biggest advantage. I can still fight my way through it, and I think what I did there was try to calm myself about the situation and maybe accept what's happening. And acceptance was the thing that helped me get away from that situation and find my way back to the winning spot again.
Hi, Stefanos. When you're trying to win big titles, how important is it for you, especially, not to get stuck in a 5-set match in the first round or in the second round?
Well, these are situations that sometimes they're not under your control. You know, you have an opponent on the other side of the net, and it's not something that you can entirely control on your own. What I try and do is respond to the different threats and play that comes from the other side of the net, and adapt to those situations or tactics that might be a possibility that they're trying to construct against me. Of course, you would want to save energy and save concentration for deeper runs into the tournament where you find yourself in the second week. These are preferably situations that you would want to maybe, if there was a 5-set, you would want to save it for those occasions. But I'm happy I got away from that bad situation that I was being faced with later during the match, and had a great comeback. Was very patient with myself and dealing with my emotions. I can only be proud of that. I'm happy I didn't go into a 5th set adventure, as I like to call, and find myself in maybe situations that suddenly you see a completely different storyline of the match.
You mentioned the bathroom break. How hard is that when you've got the lead, you've got all the momentum, that you're just kind of sat there waiting?
It's a different challenge on its own, because one thing that can happen and most likely will happen is you will lose your momentum and you will lose your tempo that you're building towards the match. And I think the greatest gift that you can have, the greatest strength that you can have in that moment is to just deal with it calmly and accept that the opponent wants to try and get away from the court, take time for himself and recalibrate, get back into the court maybe with a different mindset or with a fresher perspective of what's happening out on the court. I try not overthink it because I know that it might hurt me. So in my case, I, of course, accept and then, let's call it endure of what's going to happen when the guy comes back from the bathroom break. I'm expecting a much better quality of tennis from his side. I don't think it interrupted anything today. To be precise and honest, I don't think it had any effect on the game because we both held serve until 6-0 in the fourth set. So it certainly didn't have any changes during the match.
Congratulations, Steph. Mine is a non-tennis question. There are a lot of couples in tennis today, and obviously you too. And I was just wondering whether it's easier to be with someone who is also a tennis player and who can probably understand the pressures, or does it help or not?
I guess there's always, well, let me put it that way. I feel like if there are things that I don't quite get as much or feel like I'm as well in touch with regarding my job, I can always reach out to my partner who has spent the same amount of time that I have spent on the court trying to figure out the game, which is a small benefit to my life. I feel like we both share the same passion and we both do the same thing in life. So to have a person by your side that you love and you can comfortably and mutually and reciprocally talk about tennis in our case, I think it's a breath of fresh air to have a person like that you can trust. And I think in my case, that person knows a lot about tennis and analyzes the game pretty well. Outside of it, we still have times where we completely disconnect from tennis and we focus on our other hobbies that we carry, that we find interest in. And it's a great relationship because we can combine from both worlds, and we can I feel like understand each other's lives so much better than any other type of relationship because we know the struggles of it and we know our routines, our maybe some of our how can you say it, when you get into a certain routine, but it's also called our own rhythms, obviously before and after a match. Superstitions, let's call it. Yeah, that's a superstition, yeah. Our superstitions, we get better than any other couple relationship because tennis comes with it. It's natural.
Stefanos, I do have a sports question. When you start a tournament like this, and I thought you were in very good shape, I took it as my favorite to win here, but how far do you analyze the draw? Because your draw is not exactly easy. Do you go round by round, or do you say, oh, well, there's Rublev, maybe Carlos, maybe Jannik, maybe whoever in the finals?
I take it match by match. If you ask me, I don't even know who I'm playing next on the next round. Who?
Sonego or Zhang.
Okay. Well, it's something that I focus on after my match. I like to focus on my matches independently, individually, and not look who I might have in the quarterfinals or semifinals. What I've learned through that is that sometimes, well, my imagination is big, and it's running wild, sometimes free, roaming. And I already picture myself playing that player when what I should be doing is focusing on the present and thinking of how I need to beat the current opponent or do my best against the opponent that I'm playing against. So I really I want to avoid having my mind being too free and too creative and just focus on the current day of what I need to get done.
Hi, Steph. One quick follow-up on the question prior. I just wanted to ask how much you might talk specifically about tennis strategy for each other with your partner. Mm-hmm. And then on days like yesterday and today, when the schedule is jumbled, there are a lot of delays, matches may be moved, perhaps canceled, we'll see what happens, but how much of an advantage is it to get a chance to play first on a court that has a roof and know that you're through and your day is done?
Well, me and my partner, we talk a lot about tennis. Our primary goal is to help each other figure certain things out. We have a lot of questions for each other. I feel like we're equally as knowledgeable in our craft, and hold a lot of understanding of how certain situations shall be dealt with, and that's because of experience that we have accumulated over the years. We talk about equipment, we talk about things that we can improve. Paula keeps saying all the time, and it annoys me that she wishes she has my forehand. I told her, I'm sorry, but that's not possible, so you have to find ways around it. And sometimes I also think, oh gosh, I wish I had her returns. You know, she destroys the ball on the returns, and it seems so effortless from his side. And you know, we try and learn from these things, and obviously share a vision of how we proceed with certain things in our sport. I feel like it's also a mindset that you build around that, and it's years and years of training and years of practicing certain things until they become your natural, instinctual thing to do at certain situations, moments. And regarding the roof, I feel like it's a great big thing that has happened in Roland-Garros that Suzanne Le Glen has put out. Yeah, sorry. Put out a roof for this beautiful court that they have, the second biggest at the Roland-Garros. I was thinking about today how nicer or how much more of an advancement it would be if Simone Mathieu had a roof as well. And then you had 3 courts that can be played indoors on a rainy day like that. I know I'm probably asking for too much, but maybe that could be considered for the future. And, you know, once Roland-Garros becomes even bigger than it is now.
Hi, Stefanos. I was wondering, did you hear the David Goffin story about yesterday?
No.
He played against a French guy on court 14 in a 5-set match, which he won. But the atmosphere was pretty hostile in his eyes. Even somebody spit gum in his direction. And afterwards, he said these kind of things happened most of the time here in Paris, if you compare it to the other 3 slams. And are you agree with him that the people here are the crowd is more these kind of things can happen?
It has never happened to me. I've never had to deal with a situation like this in my career. I really don't know what to say. I didn't watch the match. I'm not aware of what happened. I don't really follow the tennis news when I'm in competition. But if things like this happen during a match, I mean, of course, it's confusing in a way of how people behave in a gentleman's sport like tennis, and this is definitely not a behavior I would like to see in any of my matches, or would even picture happening in any battle that I might have out on the court. So I'm sorry to hear that.